Ramanuja was a Hindu theologian, philosopher, and scriptural exegete, born in a Tamil family in the village of Sriperumbudur, Tamil Nadu. He is also known as Sri Ramanujacharya, Udayavar, Ethirajar, Emberumannar and Lakshmana Muni. He is seen by Sri Vaishnavism as the most important acharya of their tradition who followed Nathamuni and Yamunacharya, and by Hindus in general as the leading expounder of Vishishtadvaita, one of the classical interpretations of the dominant Vedanta school of Vedic philosophy. Establishing dates: the traditional biographies of Ramanuja place his life in the period of 1017–1137 CE, yielding a lifespan of 120 years. In 1917, T. A. Gopinatha Rao proposed a chronology based on the traditional lifetime of 1017–1137. He identified the Chola king with Kuluvanga Chola I, and dated the exile to Melkote from 1079 to 1126 CE. However, this would extend the period of exile to 47 years, and in any case, Kuluvanga I was not known for being intolerant. A different chronology was proposed by T. N. Subramanian, an official in the Madras government. This chronology identifies the Chola king with Kuluvanga Chola II, who reigned from 1133–50 and was also arguably known for his persecution of Vaisnavites. It puts Ramanuja's exile from c. 1137 to 1148. Subramanian's hypothesis is aided by a fragment from the late Tamil biography Ramanujaraya Divyakaritai, which states that Ramanuja completed his most important work, the Shra Bhata the First Pandya, in 1155–56. Nevertheless, temple inscriptions in Karnataka indicate the presence of Ramanuja and his disciples before 1137. John Carman hypothesizes that the traditional biographers conflated two different visits to Mysore into one. This later chronology has been accepted by several scholars, yielding a tentative lifetime of 1077–1157. Whatever the precise dates of Ramanuja's lifetime, it seems clear that all three of the great Srivaishnavism to the first Eva acharyas lived under the relatively stable and non-sectarian climate of the Chola Empire, before its decline in the late 12th and 13th centuries. Historical background: by the 5th century, the South Indian religious scene was diverse, with popular religion existing alongside Vedic sacrifice and non-Vedic traditions like Buddhism and Jainism. Indeed, the title character of the 6th century Tamil Buddhist epic Manamkalai is advised at one point to study the various Hindu schools of philosophy, such as Sankara and Vaisheshika, as well as Buddhism, Ajivika, Karvaka, and Jainism. It was in this context that fears of a Buddhist or Jain takeover spurred a large Hindu revival that reached its peak in the 7th century and continued nearly into the 2nd millennium. The popular aspects of this revival took the shape of several mystical and passionate bhakti movements, represented on the Sri Sampradaya side by the 12 Alvars. The Alvars come from a variety of social strata. Their ranks include Shudras and one woman. The intense devotionalism of their poetry and insistence that caste and gender are no barrier to a relationship with the divine is uncharacteristic of classical Vedic thought, which laid a strong emphasis on the performance of the social and religious duties proper to one's place in the social structure. Some of these were collected into a definitive canon known as the Nala-era Divya Prabandha, by Nathamuni in the 10th century, and came to be seen as a source of revelation equal in authority to the Vedas and the Shra Vaishya to the first Eva community. On the philosophical side, this period saw the rise of the Vedanta school of philosophy, which focused on the elucidation and exegesis of the speculative and philosophical Vedic commentaries known as the Upanishads. The Advaita, or non-dualist interpretation of Vedanta, was developed in this time by Adi Shankara and later by more to the first Annamaya era. It argued that the Brahman presented in the Upanishads is the static and undifferentiated absolute reality, and that the ultimately false perception of difference is due to avidya, or ignorance. The goal of proving the Vedantic legitimacy of the popular conception of a personal deity and a genuine personal identity essentially characterizes Ramanuja's project, and the Advaitin school presents a natural object for his polemics. It is this synthesis between the classical Sanskrit writings and the popular Tamil poetry that is the source of one of the names of Ramanuja's system, Urbhaya Vedanta, or Vedanta of both kinds. Evaluating sources, in dealing with the lives of the Vedantic teachers, there is little in the way of actual history, and it is thus necessary to make reference to the many hagiographical works both in verse and prose that form a major genre in both Sanskrit and South Indian vernaculars. The earliest such hagiographies in prose is the Raya Rapa to the first Ithirajar Prabhava. This was written by Peer to the first Permalpur Akya Peramajaya in the 13th century in a highly Sanskritized dialect of Tamil known as more to the first Ipravala. Perhaps earlier was a Sanskrit work of poetry, the Devisari Charita or Acts of the Divine Sages, probably written in the 12th century by Guru Avahor to the first Apur to the first Ether, a contemporary disciple of Ramanuja's. In later times, a number of traditional biographies proliferated, such as the 16th or 17th century Sanskrit work Prapanna to the first and, following the split of the Shraya to the first Ava community into the Vedakale and T to the first Permalkale. The Muvaya Rapa to the first Ithirajar Prabhava or the 3000 splendor of the succession of teachers by Brahmatantra Svatantrajaya represents the earliest Vedakali biography, and reflects the Vedakali view of the succession following Ramanuja. A Raya Rapa to the first Ithirajar Prabhava, or 6000 splendor of the succession of teachers referred in the previous paragraph represents the Tankali biography. Formative years. According to historian Orkandavali Govinda Karayar, Vitideva and his chief queen Shantala Devi had a sick daughter. She was possessed by an evil spirit and the Vaishnavite Saint Ramanuja is said to have cured her. After this episode it is said that Vitideva embraced Vaishnavism. He treated all people as equal without considering their castes. At that time low-caste people were prohibited inside the temples. He led the low-caste people into the temples in many places. Due to this, he is praised as a social reformer. Disciples, Kuthaswan, Mudalayandan. Names, Ramanuja has many names, which were given at different points of time. Ethirajar name given by Thirumalai Nambi at birth, Ramanuja name given by Varadaraja Perumal at Sanasa, Ethirajar name given by Thurukkachi Nambi, Udayavar name given by Namperumal on Ramanuja's arrival at Srirangam, Lakshmana Muni name given by Thirumalai Aindan, Godagraja name given by Sriviliputhu Sri Vaishnavas, Deshakendra Apanaku Sanbalazi Alach the Perumal name he received because of settling the dispute regarding whether the main deity at Tirumala is Shiva or Vishnu, Koilana, elder brother, name given by Aindal after Ramanuja presented 100 cupfuls of porridge, at Karavadisal, 2. Mala Runchalai as Hagar in Madurai, as per her wishes which were expressed in Nichaya Thirmozi, the Rupavajya name given at Srirangam after Ramanuja swooned on seeing Athuzhe, daughter of Mayapurna, mistaking her to be Napanai, that is, since he was so absorbed in the meanings of the Rupave, Sri Bhashyakara name given by Saraswati at the Sri Bandaram Library in Kashmir because of his authorship of Sri Baisyam. Writings, Ramanuja wrote 9 books. They are also referred to as the 9 precious gems, the Navaratnas. His most famous work is known as the Sri Baisya or Brahma Sutra Bhashya. It is a commentary on the Brahma Sutras, known also as the Veda Ntazatras of Badarayana. Gadaltrayam. All 3 are important works in Sri Vaishnava philosophy, Vaikunta Gadyam describing in great detail Vaikunta, the realm of Vishnu and recommending meditating on it. Sriranga Gadyam, a prayer of surrender to the feet of Ranganatha, Saranagati Gadyam, an imagined dialogue between Ramanuja and Lakshmi in Narayana where he petitions Lakshmi to recommend Narayana to give him grace. Narayana and Lakshmi accept his surrender. Vedartha Sangraya. It sets out Ramanuja's philosophy, which is theistic and realistic. Vedanta Sara, an appendix to Sri Baisya, Vedanta Dvipa, another appendix commentary to Sri Baisya, Gita Bhashya, Nitya Grantham. Reverence as an acharya, Harold Coward describes Ramanuja as the founding interpreter of Sri Vaishnavite scripture. Although a collator and interpreter rather than an original thinker, there was originality in his method of synthesizing the Tamil and Sanskrit texts. Ramanuja's Ethirajar was the Ramanuja shrine located inside the Sri Ranganathasammy Temple Sriranjam, Tamil Nadu within the temple complex, where he attained his acharya and Udayavar. The body of the saint, Thirumeni, is placed inside the Sri Ramanuja shrine in Padmasanam. It is anointed with chandan and saffron twice a year. His shrine is open to the general public for darshan. Acharya Sri Ramanuja is believed to be the titular administrator of the Sriranjam temple. In all Sri Vaishnava temples, Acharya Ramanuja is given the foremost prominence. His blessings are invoked at the beginning of devotional services. Several temples like Sri Venkateswara Temple at Tirumala, Sri Parthasarathi Temple at Chennai, Sri Thiruvanarayana Swami Temple at Malukkote have exclusive shrines dedicated to him. The Satumurai, or appellations made to the Lord, at the end of daily services in a Sri Vaishnava temple always conclude with the words. Meaning, let the most magnificent instruction of Sri Ramanuja increase and pervade through all countries at all times, without any hindrance. Living tradition, Iyengar Brahmins in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh follow his philosophical tradition. The Tamil Prabandhas are chanted at Vishnu temples on par with the Vedas. Persons of all communities, and not just Brahmins, are given roles in rituals at Sriranjam and other leading temples. The philosophic discourses have been passed on to subsequent generations by successors like Pillai Lokacharya, Vedanta Desika and Manavlama Muni who lived in the 13th and 14th centuries. Several hagiographic accounts suggest that Ramanuja was an incarnation of Sri Adishesha. The Swaminarayan tradition of Gujarat also traces its Acharya Parampara to Ramanuja through Ramananda. Vishishtadvaita philosophy is widely followed in Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, South Karnataka, Gujarat and some parts of Maharashtra. References, notes. Citations. Further reading, Iyengar, S. Krishnaswamy. Karya Rajagopala. Ranjacharya, M. Sri Ramanujacharya, A Sketch of His Life and Times and His Philosophical System G. A. Nathan and Company. Sampat Kumaran, M. The Garbhota the First Pandya of Ramanuja. Bombay, Ananthacharya Indological Research Institute. Raghavaka, S. S. Vedartha Sangraya. Advaita Ashrama. ISBN 978-81-7505-118-8. Devmani, B. S. The Religion of Ramanuja, A Christian Appraisal. Christian Literature Society. De Rising, Christopher. Toward an Indian Christian Theology, Ramanuja's Significance. A study of the significance of Ramanuja's theological hermeneutics for an Indian Christian understanding of the relation between God and all else. Harvard University. Lott, Eric J. God and the Universe in the Veda NTIC Theology of Ramanuja, a study in his use of the self-body analogy. Ramanuja Research Society. Govindacharya, A. The Life of Ramanuja. S. Murthy. Rao, T. A. Gopinatha. Sir Subramanya Iyer Lectures on the History of Srivaishnavism to the First Avars. University of Madras, Government Press. Sastry, K. A. Nilakanta. A History of South India, From Prehistoric Times to the Fall of Vijayanagar. Oxford University Press. Sharma, Arvind. Vilaria to the First Vata Veda NTA, A Study. Heritage Publishers. Iyengar, C. S. Srinivasa. The Life and Teachings of Sri Ramanujacharya of Venkateshwar. Subramanian, T. N. South Indian Temple Inscriptions. Madras Government Oriental Series, No. 157 3 pages 145 €60. Barua, Anchor. God's Body at Work, Ramanuja and Panentheism. International Journal of Hindu Studies 14, 1 €30. External links, biographies, biography and works, the Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy, Biography of Ramanuja, Sanskrit.org, works, Sri Bhashya, Ramanuja's Commentary on Vedanta Sutras. Translated by George Thibaut. Works by Ramanuja at Project Gutenberg. Works by or about Ramanuja at Internet Archive. Others, ramanuja.org.